All right. I did say that we would share with you that Sanaya revealed their identity. Yes, and maybe not what you're expecting. I know that my group, Sanaya, is a group of higher consciousness beings, both masculine and feminine. It changes from time to time. I know that Jesus has talked through and as Sanaya, Archangel Michael, and other human beings such as Emmanuel Swedenborg and William James. But beyond that, I don't have many other names of Sanaya. But they recently came through and said, basically, Sanaya is exactly as the name says, one worth knowing, of the gods, and so are you. What they're trying to get through is the point that all of us are part of the one worth knowing. That, as the channeler Paul Selig said, your guides are who you become when you realize who you are. At any time, we can shift our focus, go higher, and realize we are self-luminous beings tapped into all that is. When we get the story out of the way, we become as highly merged with the one as we're capable of being. So Sanaya said to me, Sanaya is, use it. Sanaya is consciousness. Your guides are consciousness. In our human lives, we get so wrapped up in, but what are their names? And what do they look like? And what story did they live as? What's their history? And Sanaya is trying to get all of us to get beyond needing to know who and what the individual stories are, and just see that your guides are part of the one, and to tap into that and not even be limited by was my guide a spirit guide? Is it an issue guide? Is it a higher master? You can tap into all of that. So Sanaya came through this past month and just said, stop focusing on the story. Each one of you is a modification of the beloved, as Rumi used to call source. That's what Sanaya is. That's what all of your guides are. Use them with that awareness, and you take the limitations off the guides that you put on them. Now, your guides do have levels. They have stories just like we do. They're telling me now we are not all powerful and omniscient, because any voice that speaks to you is still going to be filtered by our human brain and will not have all the answers. But when you see that all guides are part of the one, and that we are part of that too, your guides will say to you, you are just another part of me, with a big capital M. So it was kind of like a trick they played on me when they said, we will reveal our identity. We are the one, just as you are, but not all of it. So they wanted me to emphasize to you, all stories are worth knowing. The meaning of Sanaya, besides flash of lightning, which is how Susan and Wolf passed, is one worth knowing. And they wanted you to make sure you understand all of us are one worth knowing. We're all of it. So Sanaya is amorphous, not a being, not one being, but the flow of energy information itself. And it comes through in different ways depending on what is needed at any time. Okay, it's the all. I remember I was just on Lee Carroll's program. He channels Cryon, has done so for many, many years. He had me as a guest on his program. I'll be at one of his events next year in Asheville, North Carolina. But Cryon told Lee Carroll, Cryon is all souls. Joy. Joy is my name for God. So he'd already gotten that information from his guide. So it's no surprise that Sanaya would come through. Sanaya said, use the analogy that connecting with your guides is like opening a sunroof on your car and taking in more light, versus worrying about what kind of vehicle you're riding in, what it looks like, what model it is. Just let in more light through the sunroof. I love that. Okay. I hope you're not disappointed in that. Some of you maybe. We wanted to know that Sanaya was this being from Sirius or Arcturus or an Arcturian. So it's kind of like learning that Santa Claus is really your parents, right? Your guides are really you at a higher level. Isn't that something to think about? So there comes a time when you give up the image of your guides being these cloaked beings with wings, and that God is a man on a cloud, and you just come to understand oneness and wholeness, and that you're already part of it, this self-luminous star.